हेलो, हाँ मैम। नहीं नहीं, तो इंटरनेट नहीं चल रहा है अभी, मेरा लैपटॉप लेके हम लोग कर रहे हैं ट्रायल्स।
मीटिंग
हाँ क्या अँकर आहे ना, आता गीतवर आहे म्हणते
कौन
आधी ते गूगल मीट पण चालू करायला
सगळं केले रिकॉर्डिंग स्ट्रीमिंग मीटिंग
ओबीएस मध्ये काही करावं लागलं का मग?
काय
काही करावं लागलं का सेटिंग मीटिंग चेंज?
नाही केलं, त्याला ब्रॉडकास्ट चालू केलं, स्ट्रीमिंग चालू केलं.
पण आता मोबाईल डेटावर किती वेळ चालणार?
लॅनला कनेक्ट करा तुमचं. इथं कनेक्ट
पण
करा.
चालू नाही आहे ना
काय
लॅन?
चालू आहे? लॅन चालू आहे.
पण इंटरनेट चालूच नाही ना.
हे नाही चालू आता, नंतर माझ्या ह्याच्यात कनेक्ट करू.
नाही ना, ग्रुपवर मेसेज आहे की 5 वाजेपासून काल बंद आहे म्हणून सेंट्रलवर. सर यूट्यूबची लिंक देऊच सकाळ सकाळी, आपण उशिरा दिली यूट्यूबची लिंक दिली आहे का ती?
त्यात कॉपी केली मी, ते मेल करा की
कशात?
क्लिपबोर्ड मध्ये कॉपी झाली ती.
अच्छा,
पेस्ट करा, फक्त पेस्ट करा. दिसत आहे.
मी म्हणत होते आता वोडाफोन हे करून जिओचं कार्ड घ्यावं.
मी पण तोच विचार करते मॅडम, खूपच त्रास येतो वोडाफोनचा.
पण आता जिओ पण दिसत होतं.
सध्या सगळ्याच इंटरनेटचे प्रॉब्लेम आहे ऍक्च्युली. ही काय की कॉपी झाली आहे बहुतेक, की कॉपी झाली आहे बहुतेक. यूट्यूबची लिंक नाही आहे.
चालू नाही का?
हे बघा ना, की कॉपी झाली आहे, कंट्रोल मी गेलं का. ही वरचीच घ्यायची डायरेक्ट की काही वेगळी घ्यायची असते ही वाली? काहीतरी आलं. रिकनेक्शन सक्सेसफुल. पूजा मिश्रा कुठले तरी एचओडी आहे का? कुठले तरी एचओडी आहे वाटतं. I2 IT लिहिलं, हायस्कर आहे टीचर.
हायस्कूल IT
कोणत्या डिपार्टमेंटच्या?
काय ना
पूजा मिश्र. हं.
डिपार्टमेंट असं आमचं शशिकला
हा त्या त्या कम्प्युटरच्या IT चे पण मला वाटते सर आहे कोणतरी.
सर आहे डिपार्टमेंट
नाही ऍक्च्युली CE आयट्सवर IT जॉईन झालेलं आहे.
कॉम्प्युटर
कम्प्युटर इंजिनिअरिंग असेल ना आयट्स.
असं दुसरं नाव असं घरचं मिसेस दीपाली विजनाथकर
वायफाय वगैरे आहे कसं?
मोबाईलचं
कॉलेजचं
इंटरनेट नाही कसं लेक्चर घ्यायचं कॉलेजमध्ये.
हो ना. दहा 6,000 आपल्याकडचे लोकच कोणी जॉईन झालेले नाही. सांगू का शांती मॅडमला?
कितीच टाइम आहे 10 आहे 10:30
10च आहे. 10 ते 10 15 आले शांती मॅडम. प्रिन्सिपल सर जॉईन झाले. आपले अँकरच नाही आहे.
अरे काय
आधी हे सगळे टेबल केलं. मैम प्रिंसिपल सर ज्वाइन हो गए. हेलो. हाँ 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 ठीक है. ऑल द बेस्ट. मांडवर सर सुद्धा बाहेरच्या लिंकने जॉईन, म्हणजे कॉलेजच्या आयडीने जॉईन नाही झाले. माझ्या याचं हे अनम्यूट करायला लागेल ना, साईट रेकॉर्डिंग कसं होईल? नाही
गरज नाही.
सगळे बाहेरचेच येत आहे सर. हे आहे की नाही आपल्याला कसं कळेल? शुभंगी बराबर. नाही चालू झालं ना मॅडम? इंटरनेट नाही चालू झालं ना?
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah,
Wait.
2 minutes.
So in meantime, other participants will be joining, na?
Yes, yes.
हाँ. इथे.
हॅलो कुठं बाहेर येतो का तू? बरोबर जा ना बाहेर काय नाही बाहेरकडे जा म्हटलं. नाही तसं ते नेट चालू असं म्हणून पण काम चालू नाही ना द्या ना
Who is the anchor for today?
ते काम चालू असं नेट बंद म्हणून पण काय होतं
Sir, Aditi Kalia, madam, is
Yes, yes, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Oh, good morning. Okay. Okay, you are ready now, right?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Only
Sir,
guest
Amit
has
sir
to be
is
joined.
about to join. Yes, sir, he is about to join. Yes, sir.
Check it. Okay.
हॅलो बेडरूम आणि किचन सेम साईज होईल ना. बेडरूम लहान होतं किचन पेक्षा. हा रूम दिला कमी आहे, नाम दिलं सेम आहे. रूम दिलं 9x9. किचनला थोडं कमी करू शकतो. बेडरूमचं जेवढं आहे तेवढं किचनचं करून घ्या आणि किचनचं जे आत्ताच आहे त्या साईजचं बेडरूम करू. 1 फुटाचा फरक करू. हा 9 फूट वाढत आहे तेवढं. हा एक असं जे वीटला वाढलं तर असं 9 फूट वाढायला किचनला काही तेवढं सामान घ्यायचं ना समजा. हा सामान तर काही ते कपाटात बसून कपाट करणारच असतं. मग काय वर बसून जायचं त्याला गर्दी होत बारीक. 9x10 असते. मधली जी आहे ना बेडरूम त्याच्यापेक्षा थोडीशी मोठी मधल्या बेडरूमपेक्षा लहान आहे.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Amit sir, can you please open your camera and unmute yourself? We will start the session.
Sure.
Yes, sir. We can start the session. Yes, yes, we can start the session.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very good morning to everyone present here. Honorable Chairman and Vice President Shri Satesh D. Patil sir, respected Colonel S.K. Joshi sir, Campus Director, respected eminent speaker Dr. Amit Andre sir, Chief Executive Officer, Data Tech Labs, New York, USA. Dr. Vijayam Vadai sir, Principal, DYPCOE Akrudi. Dr. P. Malti Madam, Vice Principal, DYPCOE Akrudi. Dr. Vinay Kottawar sir, HOD Computer Engineering Department. Respected HODs and deans, faculty members, and dear all participants. On behalf of D.Y. Patil, College of Engineering, I, Aditi Kalia, Assistant Professor of Department of Computer Engineering, welcome you all for the Day 2 session of the 6 days refresher program on contemporary artificial intelligence, sponsored by AICTE-ISTE, organized by Department of Computer Engineering of Dr. D.Y. Patil Pratishthan, D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, Akrudi, Pune, for faculty members. With new day comes new strength and new thoughts by Eleanor Broadbus. With this thought, now I request our principal sir to present thoughts. To you, sir.
Hello. Yes, Aditi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I supposed to start?
Sir.
Pardon? Who
Yes,
is
sir. Please give a wisdom.
Okay. Good morning to all the participants of this particular faculty development program on contemporary artificial intelligence. This is faculty development programs organized and specifically sponsored by, in collaborations with the All India Council for Technical Education and ISTE New Delhi. This particular program, yesterday we have inaugurated, and the 3 authorities from the government. Dr. Amit Datta sir has given the message that he was busy into his some meeting with the ministers and the AICTE chairman. That's why he said that all the best for as far as this starting this particular first program, online program driven by the AICTE and ISTE together. But fortunately, the chairman of this ISTE, Mr. Pratap Desai sir, was there, and hence we could start along with Dr. Avinash Joshi. He was also the ex-chairman for the SPPU, Savitribai Phule Innovation Parks Foundations. Today, yesterday I was in a hurry, so that's why I could not take much part. And today there is a opportunity to welcome our own alumni, Mr. Dr. Amit Andre. And I'm very fortunate that he is there on our advisory body too, in a computer engineering department, specifically for the artificial intelligence and data science program. He is a really thorough technocrat, and he is having his own company. So being into the entrepreneur mode for more than 10 years, and we are very proud that he has acquired his degree from the abroad. And Amit, first of all, let me welcome you. As far as this today's contemporary AI is concerned, let me tell you that Vinay Kottawar has taken this particular initiative along with the Shanti Guru madam, because this particular proposal was actually initiated by Shanti Guru, and then, you know, under the able guidance of Dr. Vinay Kottawar, this particular program now has been properly sponsored by the AICTE, and that's why I think that 100 participants have registered for this program, 74 from outside college, from the 30 participants from 18 cities. I think perhaps Dr. Vinay Kottawar has mentioned about this. So considering this interest of this particular into this contemporary AI, we know that artificial intelligence becomes the part of our life. And when we talk about the contemporary AI, there are, because yesterday also I shared some of the important case studies with the fellow who is already working into the Facebook, and one fellow working into the Uber. And they were interacting as far as this artificial intelligence penetrations into the normal life, as well as the industry proliferations. We know already that 56% of, more than 58% of total all industry have already acquired this AI, and that is why it is a need for the, if you look at to the next 5 years or the next 20 years, it will be a journey with AI only. That's why going hand in hand, human intelligence and the artificial intelligence together, perhaps it will be a great journey. It is a necessity for us to go ahead with the AI to understand the market, understand the current scenario, maybe in the field of, because if you look at the contemporary, there are mainly major 4 domains we considered as a strongly AI is mainly applicable or implemented. If you look at to the IBM Watson, it's a fully huge, strong software and the hardware, which is giving advice to the medical doctor. Everybody is know about this, the contribution of this IBM technology, specifically as far as the IBM Watson is concerned. During the dialogue and discussions with the doctor and the patients, after listening, specifically IBM Watsons capture the video and the audio simultaneously and make the sense and makes the meaning out of that, and accordingly the recommendations is given to the doctor, is also given to the patient. So ultimately, earlier, if you look at to the normal methodology of diagnosing and giving this or giving the kind of the suggestions to the all the patients, which were based on the wisdom of the doctor and his experiential learning over the period of time, right from the internship to the during the practicing sessions. But now this involvement of this AI, specifically IBM Watson, all other specified many systems people are trying to develop, because it becomes costly if we are using the IBM Watson. So many people are coming into this particular domain of the healthcare to add the value into the healthcare system based on the artificial intelligence, machine learning and deep algorithm domain. I was also discussing with Mr. Uday Zorkar 2-3 days back. Uday Zorkar has mentioned that the healthcare domain, he is driving he has developed certain software. Let me tell you, it is applications of the software into the healthcare domain, where contemporary AI is majorly concerned about the 3 important domains. One is the medical and developing the software for this diagnostic purpose. Another is for the financial decision making. Third is the speech analysis. And fourth is the text analysis. And last is the genetic analysis. So if you look at to the healthcare domain specifically, these are the major technologies where the intervention of the artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and the NLP, not the neuro-linguistic programming, is a natural language processing. This, again, natural language processing is also the part of the AI. And that's why in a contemporary AI, these are the major field where all the researcher, all the faculty member have to concentrate. I know that many of the faculty members who have joined, they are working into this particular computer domain specifically for the data mining, static data mining, dynamic data mining, or using the various algorithm, clustering, classifications. These are all for the specifically to understand and to judge that whatever the decision need to be taken based on the inputs and the data which is fed to your algorithms, which is either true or false, or does it make sense for that. And they used to take the decisions as far as this medical decisions are concerned, which does require the doctor's intervention also. Later on, to variance in this particular his voice and speech is seen here. When we were discussing with this same, how do we can use this speech technology specifically for understanding this mental health conditions of the people. So we are also working with this Sakal Foundation because they have the mental health uh, the center where anybody can give the call there and spell out that what is happening to his own personal life because of the conditions surrounding. Then what is happened, I have requested them to have this proper intervention of this AI there and to put our algorithm to understand and estimate the severity of that particular call, and accordingly whatever the kind of the support which has to be given by the psychologist or the psychiatrist, then those people are actually connected for the counseling further. But to assist the psychologist, then this speech technology can be utilized. The speech quality and the speech spectrum, then you will be able to take out the right wisdom that what is the level of the anxiety or the fearfulness in that particular voice which has been given, the call which has been given to that particular call center, the helpline which is given, and the wisdom can be taken out. After that, many things as far as this text recognition is concerned. Later on, we have the application as the speech to text. Then, based on the keywords which has been there, already mentioned with respect to the whatever the patients would like to spell out, and those keywords, the wisdom can be taken out from these keywords, and recommendations can be given to the patient through the doctor after, because doctor has to evaluate and validate the kind of the interpretation which has been there. So in a contemporary AI, when we talk about the speech, what are those AI? Because the speech analysis, if you look at again, we know that in Google Assistant is also utilizing the same. Once you talk to your Google Assistant, according to the required information is being actually popped down. Again, because the Google engine, whatever the AI machine learning algorithms which are there embedded, it gets the sense out of this speech to text conversion. Accordingly, the algorithms and machine which is integrated, and accordingly the right kind of the wisdom, whatever the required information needed by the user is actually popped out and given. Very simple. That yes, we are giving the input and exactly we are getting the output, which is what do require. But the huge amount of the data, the algorithms that you are trying to devise, the good skill sets are required to understand the complex algorithms, which will give the correct outcome what the user decides. So you have the proper machine learning and deep learning algorithm. So there your contemporary AI, it's very much important. In some of the, I think that some of the faculty members are also working into this particular domain as far as this MRI medical analysis, EEG analysis of this heart. The signals which has taken out from the either vital signals, what your ECG specifically, or based on the its impact of the psychology. EEG signal also will be complementing to understand the heart conditions too. So if he is in a fear condition, there has been always we say that the cardiac patients should not be given any kind of the such message or information where he also will get into the more severity of this particular probability of this ischemic attack or the heart attack. So he is supposed to give the right kind of the environment so that the cardiac patient should not be get arrest of that particular heart attack. So that's why environmental condition does matter, but your algorithm, if you are trying to give this or analyze this understanding about this medical status of this patient, your system should be so alert, so accurate, so precise that whatever the information or recommendation that is given as in terms of this recommendation in the textual format or the report, that should make the sense to the doctor. And let us say if you are working into the cancer domain, the doctor also should be able to validate, yes, whatever your system that you have already based on the whatever the real data which has come from the either from the MRI, it is making sense to the doctor or not. then the data should not be the data from the which is available to into the MIT TBI, but it should be also from the real-time data. And fortunately, we are also successful as far as this cancer detection is concerned, malignancy level detection is concerned, then the stages of the malignancy. All this can be predicted properly, diagnosed, predictions, and the growth of that particular cancer in the various stages also can be done into this medical. When you are talking about the contemporary AI, so either you can use this whatever the data, which should be real-time data, if you are working into the medical field, because contemporary AI is mainly focused to this medical diagnostics, the financial decision making, speech, and the NLP and genetics algorithm. I was mentioning about the Uday Zorkar. He has started his deep genetics company. In deep genesis, what happened? Based on the whatever the kind of the your the domain of understanding as far as the medical field is concerned. Let us say consider the as far as the symptoms of any kind of, let us say, diabetes, for example. What he is feeling with respect to the kind of the disease he is suffering, he has to just add some symptoms, and your AI engine, which is sitting into your software, which will be able to interpret what is the level of the severity of the disease. And because the impact of this particular symptoms, which actually goes to the genes and the RNA and DNA sequencing. So molecular analysis, this is a very, very important and very futuristic, I can say, the research domain where the people can use these AI algorithms, or specifically machine algorithm. There he has used more into the as far as this deep learning algorithms he has used to identify the level of the sequencing and the impact of this external conditions onto the RNA and DNA, and to identify what kind of the problems that particular fellow is suffering. And that's why he has developed this app where the engine is sitting, definitely ML and AI based engine is sitting into that particular software. The 50,000 download has been there already, and the accuracy of that particular his algorithms is again 95%, but he is expecting that again the accuracy should be more, up to 99%. So their beta version has been demonstrated there. When I was trying to talk about with Mr. Uday Zorkar, deep genetics you can identify, because all the faculties are here. That's why I would like to request all the faculties not only to understand the problems and use case studies, but they have to work on to the very much into the coding side, very much into the algorithmic side, which kind of the algorithm should be, what kind of this specific applications that need to be studied thoroughly. And I will request you to undergo the various publications, IEEE transaction publications, which are working into this particular domain. But ultimately, when you think about the sentiment analysis, naturally sentiment analysis also from the voice and video. So this is again one of the area which is contemporary AI is also hitting, and that's why I request all the participants to not only the sentiment analysis, there is another domain which is called as a sentience analysis, where the touch and feelings, where the robotics and robots and that you are developed Sophia like the robot, to make more sensitive, because they have to act like as a human. And that's why artificial intelligence has to more upgrade into this particular domain so that it can match to the human intelligence. There the sentience analysis and sentiment analysis has to be done with AI and algorithm. But the processing, signal processing in terms of the audio, video, image data and the text data, I request all the participants today to focus on to the how to collect the real-time data, how to prune the data, how to process the data, and how to classify the data, make the meaningful data for the further processing and modeling, so that you can come out with the best of the best judgment, and you should be able to take the decision, which will be definitely serving the some part of segment of the society and the field. So with this, because today Amit Andre will be giving the more insight onto this particular field. So Dr. Amit, I would like to give this particular dice to you, and hope all the participants are very brilliant participants. The participants are matured participants, and hence I would like to request you to empower them with the knowledge of contemporary AI, where Vinayak Kotavar and Aditi Kalia are focusing to making this particular programs very strong and healthy program, one of the unique program of the faculty development program. My all best wishes are there. Again, I would like to thanks to Honorable Satish Patel sir and Colonel Joshi for making this particular platform available to all the faculty members and the DY Patel College of Engineering. Thank you very much. Over to Aditi.
Yes, thank you, sir, for always encouraging us with your inspirational words. Now, moving on, today we are pleased to welcome Dr. Amit Andre, sir, Chief Executive Officer, Data Tech Labs, New York, USA. Dr. Amit Andre, sir, did BE in Computer Engineering, MBA in International Business and Leadership and Sustainability. Sir has done PhD in Data Science and Analytics as well as in AI and Computer Science. Worked across different domains with high-profile technological qualification, complex real-time problem solving, and outcome-oriented approach makes him stand apart. With more than 15 years of rich experience, along with his customer, is definitely an influence leader who is always inspiring to get the best technological solution for resolving business challenges. Sir has many achievements and some significant. Sir has invited as a technical speaker by renowned organizations and institutions from all over the world across 87 countries. Sir received Best Innovation Award in 2017 for efficiently developing leadership summit with World Thinker, 50 speakers beating 1400 participants from 104 organizations across 21 countries. Under his leadership, a team of 2,728 members got training across Dubai, Saudi Arab, Oman, India, and East Africa. He played a major role in increasing revenues of the company from thousands to cumulative revenues of over $235 million in span of 9 years. He also played a significant role in gaining highest sales of average $5.5 million during the crisis of recession. He has given training over 32,000 professionals on project management tools, CAPM, PMP and ITIL V3 Foundation from reputed organizations across 82 countries since 2011. Once again, I welcome Dr. Amit Andre sir to share their experiences by exploring the concept of fundamental of machine learning and deep learning, recent trends in deep learning. So we will welcome Amit Andre sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Aditi madam and Principal sir,
Yes, sir.
and Vinayak sir for inviting me for today's session and this 3-day event sponsored by AICTE. Of course, a great thanks to AICTE for considering the profile and planning the efforts of the complete community are certainly valuable as we are focusing on building the humans, building the manpower or future of our country. And hats off to all teachers, professors who are part of this initiative and who are also doing day-to-day tasks in the current pandemic situation, which is a complete new challenge for all of us, and trying to do best of whatever possible in the education and learning industry. Hats off, and I really appreciate all the efforts and segments towards all these initiatives which I've taken. I have been following, and I've seen that every day, every week, there has been a topic which principal sir and the panels chosen by our college professors, teachers are invited and imparting knowledge to students of our college, and that's really fantastic. I have not seen efforts like this by any college in India as on date. In India, I'm connected to almost 43, 44 universities and colleges, but I have seen these efforts only from DY Patil College of Engineering, Pune, and I really appreciate and feel proud to be part of this college. So that's really an awesome job. Thank you once again. Thank you all the teachers who are behind all these initiatives. So today, as Aditi madam said, and the agenda is set. First, I will be speaking about fundamentals of machine learning and deep learning. Okay, let me share my screen. I hope you all can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay. For the betterment of bandwidth, I'll share my screen and stop my video. I hope that's okay with all. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, it's visible, sir.
It's
Yes,
visible,
sir.
right? Perfect. That's
Yes,
good.
yes. Yes.
So machine
Okay,
learning,
sir.
the screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir. It's
Yes, sir.
visible, sir.
Okay. The presentation is visible, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is visible.
Perfect. So when we talk about machine learning these days, it has been it has been a topic which is everywhere. As I was impressed by knowledge and insights given by our principal, Sir Vijay Vadai sir, that he has so much of insights about AI and machine learning, which I have seen that current students or people who come for an interview also don't have. So I really appreciate his overall 360-degree approach. However, said that, when we talk about machine learning, it has been a booming or upcoming buzzword in the industry for last few years. It has been that, and people are doing a lot of research around it. So in today's session, we will try and address and understand the fundamental concepts of machine learning. So the best way to discover and get the machine learning concepts is basically to experience it. So when we talk about experiencing, we basically talk about getting the computers program themselves for the segments. A renowned scientist, Herbert Simon, talk about learning is any process by which a system improves performance from experience. And the same happens with humans also. We know, but we learn and implement correct systems by experience. There is one more fundamental definition by machine learning by Tom Mitchell, which was given in 1998, which states that study of algorithms which are responsible to improve performance on the aligned task with experience. So the most important part we all need to understand is every machine learning component which we define to design or which we plan to design, whether it's an algorithm, whether it's a program, or irrespective of what tool it has to use. It is a combination of three important segments. One is your knowledge, second is your implementation methodology, and third is your experience on how, because experience helps you to improvise the overall segments. And that's why we also say that machine learning is getting computers to program themselves. So we don't need programmers because machine learning themselves have started programming. So when we can automate programming, which means that the process of automation is nothing but machine learning. Bill Gates, in a conference last year, said that a breakthrough in machine learning would be worth 10 Microsofts. And that's the potential these days on machine learning, AI, and deep learning segments. In the technology segment, we have seen that when we plan to build or develop a software, some or the other way, we get into bottleneck. So writing software could be a bottleneck where we don't have enough resources. And that's where the approach of traditional and machine learning segments differ. So traditional programming where we have data and program which run on computer to produce the output. However, in machine learning, data and output is run on the computer to create a program. And this can be used in general traditional segments. With the help of data and output, we are reversing the equation in machine learning. These are all fundamental aspects and the need why machine learning needs to be considered. But seriously, have you ever thought why do we actually need machine learning and where do we need it? And how can we utilize that? Machines are taking over every task today. Systems, we create a combination of data, algorithm, and a predefined model, which basically creates a science which is followed by computers. And there are multiple definitions of machine learning segments. Sample applications of machine learning fundamentally can be considered for web search, can be considered for computing, considered for finance, can be considered for e-commerce, can be considered for space exploration, can be considered for robotics, information extraction, social networks, debugging, and you name the domain and it's there. So idea is not where machine learning or AI can be applied. The question is, where would you want to for it to get applied? Every department, every field, every industry has potential to automate and improve the performance. And that's where machine learning comes into the picture in the complete segment. So when we talk about AI and ML, AI is basically a branch or a computer science which uses algorithm and techniques to mimic human intelligence. A subset of AI is nothing but machine learning, which has few techniques with the help of which we achieve information. So when we talk about machine learning, which is particularly a technique, a process which will help us to automate a process of creating a logic. And that logic, it will always be dynamic, which helps in evolving the data, understanding the patterns, discovering the innovative knowledge or outcomes of that particular segment, or generalizing the overall concepts which are adapted. And these basic segments can be applied in different ways in different segments. There are three fundamental approaches. First, symbolic AI. Second, it's mathematical or statistical AI. And third is a machine learning approach. When we talk about symbolic AI, it is human operated AI recommendation. Mathematics basically based on some formulas. And when we talk about machine learning approach, which is nothing but a simulated understanding of positives and negatives, which is very much similar to human brain. And that's why it is known as artificial intelligence or learned machines. This basically creates a very beautiful and needed segment in the computing power these days. There are a few case studies on machine learning, when to use, what to use, and how to use. Fundamentally, there are two types of problems which machine learning helps us to resolve. Tasks that programmers can't describe, and probably computation or complex multidimensional problems that can't be solved by numerical reasonings or programs. And that's why we turn these problems in different segments. Like in the slide, you can see that analyzing and handwriting or a cognitive reasoning segment aligned to it, or forecasting, predicting of healthcare, movies, retail. So industry-wise, these will be different, and the use cases to apply and adopt machine learning will be different. While having these adoption techniques, fundamentally, we should have why and when. So ML has to be used when human expertise does not exist, or humans can't explain their expertise, or there are models which needs customization in a much lesser time, or models which are based on a large amount of data which needs large amount of computational power, which fundamentally says that there's no need to learn to calculate payroll because once written, it is a regular calculation. But then predicting out of it and working towards prediction is an important task. This is a very classic example. You might have seen, read through it. Now, here, these are different ways or different handwriting in the world of recognizing how number two is written. So training a machine to analyze the different ways a problem can look at or a solution can look at in less time is very important. And that's where machine learning fundamentally comes into the picture. Faster computing power, which is one of the important segments. Different industry analysts have started grasping the power of artificial neural networks or machine learning, and that's because all can foresee the algorithmic breakthrough that will be required for aiding the problem solving systems. Here, artificial intelligence and machine learning can address these complex issues that will require exploration and regulating decision making capacity around the world. And once all of these is deciphered, we can expect to experience ever blazing computing power. The enterprise companies like Intel, Halio, Nvidia have geared up to empower these existing neural network processing via custom hardware chips, which are specifically made to execute AI algorithms. Next important factor when we talk about machine learning is regulation of digital data. In today's world, data is everything. We all know and we all talk about it. The emergence of various technologies that has propelled the supplement of data can be used positively in branding or in creating correct structures. Be it automotive industry, be it manufacturing industry, be it technology industry, data is generating at an unprecedented pace. But the most important question is that data which is generated relevant? Well, to untangle this mystery, we have machine learning. Because machine learning can be deployed as it can sort any amount of data by setting up cloud solutions and data centers. And it simply filters the data as per significance and brings up the functional data while leaving the crap which is not needed for any business. In this year or every year going forward, there is enormous amount of data which will get produced and industries will require machine learning to categorize it. Next important case study where machine learning would be needed in different segments is voice assistant. According to a ENY study which was made in 2020 March, it was estimated that 210 million people in United States would use a voice assistant for various purposes. So it's quite evident that voice assistants are a considerable part of industries. Siri, Cortana, Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa are some of the in-demand examples of intelligent personal assistants. And who made this possible? That's machine learning. Today, instead of secretary, we just need a voice assistant. Machine learning coupled with AI aids in processing these operations with utmost accuracy, like therefore, machine learning is going to help industries to perform complicated and significant tasks effortlessly while enhancing the productivity, which is need of every business. Third and most important part of every industry is marketing, or I would say effective marketing, because marketing is a vital factor for every business to survive in the prevailing controlled competition. It promotes the presence and visibility of business while driving the intended results but existing on existing multiple platforms. This also gives us leverage to define and create segments for effective marketing. And the topics like cybersecurity or faster computing power will create a segmented approach on defining the correct segment. So when we talk about machine learning with all these examples, they are basic, the fundamental task which should be aligned to the industry is basically to recognize the patterns, which could be facial identities, which could be expressions, which could be emotions, which could be spoken words, which could be handwriting, which could be medical images, x-rays, anything for that matter. The second, based on the recognition, we generate new patterns and create or define the anomalies aligned with the prediction in the machine learning segments. These are the segments with which we will have machine learning helping us for various applications in technology and all the industries. Let's now understand the art of applications in machine learning, which are, you might have read all about this. The autonomous cars, which could be camera based radars or driverless cars, which are currently used by humans for various day to day tasks, where we have a combination of electronics, mechanics, and technology around various segments. Now, this all analysis is basically based on understanding vision, understanding images, and training those machines on how human drivers behave on a particular scenario, on a particular situation. And that behavior is calculated with our brain. Now, as you might have heard, that our brain is divided into two parts, left and right. And both of them have their own set of nuclei which reacts on a particular situation. All of that is documented based on algorithms and aligned with machine learning and deep learning to work like humans. I think while talking today, our principal, Dr. Vijay Vadai sir, said that emotions, yes, these emotions is something which now can also be considered to be fulfilled in our robots with the help of these techniques, which was not possible a few years back. We had robots from a long time, but those robots were all for transactional activities and tasks. However, now robots also have emotions. With the help of deep learning, we not only use image recognition patterns, but we create a deep belief on every vision which is provided as an input with various coordinates and segments. These are few examples of learning objects around the vision image algorithms, as you can see. Because when we say machine learning, it is basically training algorithm or training a machine. So we need to train as much as input as needed so that we can get the information around it. In this example, as you can see, based on the training which we have done to the camera is able to identify the road, sand, water, building, color, Everything aligned with vision analytics with the help of machine and deep learning segments. To create applications like this, we need a lot of inferences from the models which are there. Now, these models will have different variations of input images, will have different versions of input images, and different directions with which input can be confronted. And these inferences are basically adopted with the help of supersonic mechanics, X-ray mechanics aligned with neural networks with decoder and transducer models, which understands and convert it to language mechanics hidden in the deep learning segments, which helps us to have a specific segments of baseline performance of every activity. I don't know I'm sure that everybody might have visited hospitals. These days, your sonography machines, your X-ray machines, all of them are connected to a central machine or a data warehouse through which machine learning patterns and reports are identified. Most of the doctors these days are using softwares to prescribe best probable machines. In old age, or probably 10 years down the line, or 10 years back, I would say, a doctor has to think and write and prescribe medicines. Today, there are systems where you input symptoms of what you are facing, and we have recommendations by doctors, and on the top of it, there is a doctor intelligence which is binded, and then medicines or tests are described based on your reports. So your report basically is generated by system based on predefined analysis of values which I've given to them. And that's the healthcare industry. There is a lot to talk in the retail industry. You talk about Alexa, you talk about phone, you talk about Siri, talk about anything in speech technology. After image, it's voice, which is everywhere with the voice assistants played and given to different people in the different segments.
10 to 11
And
class.
PyTorch has
Now
been
this, it started actually when I was taking class. That workshop I told na, STTP.
Requesting all to go on mute, please. So the impact of all these techniques will basically help not only to create user or customer experience, but will effectively help us to do the tasks which are related to a defined communication pattern. So while training these machines, there are different patterns, different types, because in simple terms, when we said we discussed there's a machine which needs to be trained, and based on the training, that machine works. There's nothing new in this. If I have to align this with a real-time example or a case study which everybody is going through, we all have gone through schools. We have interacted with teachers. So consider ourselves as machine. We have been trained for 10 plus 2 plus 4 now. And after getting trained for 10 plus 2 plus 4, or 5 or 6 in some cases, then we started experiencing it. And then we start applying it. The only difference is it took us around 22 years of our life to reach or to achieve or to apply what we have learned. However, with the help of computational systems, we might not take more than 20 minutes, or in some cases 20 seconds also. 20 minutes, or in some cases 20 seconds also. That's the power of computing, which is aligned with ML and AI. While talking about learnings, or which needs to be given to machine, there are 4 fundamental types of learning. Supervised learning, which is also known as inductive learning, unsupervised learning, which is without or given training data but without the outputs. Semi-supervised learning, which is a combination of both, and reinforcement learning for that matter. So when we talk about machine learning and the learning practices overall, the first type, which is supervised learning, which is also known as inductive learning, we need to understand the perspective. So from the perspective of inductive learning, let's say that we are given input samples X and output samples function of X. And the problem is to estimate the function. Specifically, the problem is to generalize your samples and then map to make it useful. So, supervised learning has a beautiful by default algorithm which can be applied, which is regression. In practice, it is always too hard to estimate the function. So we are looking for approximation which could be used. These functions are to predict y given x minus y is the real value, and that's where regression will be useful as an algorithm. So if I give you an example of having regression or inductive learning, is basically credit risk assessment or a diagnosis of a disease or face recognition or creating an automatic steering tap of the camera. This all types of algorithms or case studies or business functions will help in supervised learning. Then we have classification, where we classify the segments which will be applied on the product with which we are working to identify and work with the function based on the parameters which we are trying to access. The example in this slide talks about identifying cancer, breast cancer, malignant tumor size, and based on the pattern, we will predict the severity and the formula. And this can certainly be multidimensional. And that's where supervised learning plays a very important role, aligning the thickness of the clump, shape, or different parameters which will help and create the structures on the values. However, these are the fundamentals of supervised or inductive learning. That does not mean that it has flaws. It certainly has flaws. And 4 most important flaws which you should consider are: supervised learning or inductive learning can't be used when there is no human expert. If people do not know the answer, they cannot write the program to solve it, because all of this is supervised. This cannot be considered when humans can perform tasks, but no one can describe how to do it. Supervised learning cannot be used when problems where the desired functions change frequently. And it also cannot be used when problems where each user needs a custom function. These are the areas where supervised learning will not be appropriate. To learn or to create a framework of inductive learning or supervised learning, the terminology which are used to create correct models starts with a training example, where we have a sample, let's say X, which includes output and the target function. We have target function which maps to the function. We have hypothesis. We have concept, which is nothing but a Boolean target function to classify. We have a classifier which defines the clusters of classification. We have a learner. We have a hypothesis patient. We have a learner. We have a hypothesis space. We have version space. All of these are practical problems which machine learning products or algorithms will help us to resolve and create correct structures. Then we have unsupervised learning, which is combination of known and unknown facts without labels. This is basically for clusters,
power supply jaga.
which could be generals, which could be individuals, which will be aligned at these segments.
External camera.
This is an example of a genomics application where we have group of individuals whose genes, whose DNAs are classified and then aligned. Unsupervised learning can be a fruitful example when it talks about marketing or branding for an organization. So we have computing clusters, we have social network, we have spatial analytics, market segmentations, or organizational clusters where unsupervised learning will play an important role aligning with the segments. Learning will also be an important part when we do conversion or translation or machine translation of different languages. Third type is reinforcement learning, which basically talks about different states of actions and align them with the functional or business domains, which create a segmentation of values which are basically aligned, like credit risk analysis, like playing a game moves, like functional analysis for a domain segment. This is an example of environmental study which is done based on reinforcement learning, where we have different ages aligning with the observation and the techniques with which the environment works. This could be one of the examples where the performance of drop irrigation can be enhanced with the help of practices. Your policy demonstrations around the reinforcement learning play with different games, autonomous delivery segments, uh, toys, or different camera segments which are defined or will play an important role in reinforcement learning. So these are the fundamentals of machine learning which should be thought of when we start. Having said that, before starting the development or coding, it is very important to understand and create a learning problem. And this learning problem is the structure with which we create the experiment values. So when we design a learning system, we will have to create a step-by-step flow with which not only the learning, but the experience after learning also have to be considered. And that's why we need training as well as testing data as an input aligned with the knowledge and experience to choose what and how to be represented in an algorithm. So we start
जेव्हा मी कॉलेजमध्ये असेल तेव्हा केलं त्यावेळेस त्याच्यानंतर कधी हात नाही 3.5 युनिट केले तिथे आणि मग म्हणे की आता इकडे
So these parameters of testing, training data sets are very crucial while working on a machine learning project. We generally assume that the training and the testing examples are independently drawn from the same overall distribution of data. However, it stands different IIDs, or it has to be different IISDs, which are not classified, which are not transferred from the current data sets. So in a nutshell, when we talk about ML and deep learning, tens of thousands of machine learning algorithms, hundreds every new year, will be aligned and created on a particular segment. And there are three components when defining a product: representation, optimization, and evaluation. And all of these will have different symbolic structures with which we will define numerical functions, we will use symbolic functions, we'll use of model-based function at the different levels of algorithms which are defined. So we have to explore tools like PyTorch or TensorFlow, which will help us to adapt to linear regression, understand neural networks, understand vector machines around it, create symbolic functions with the propositional logic to have name bias or different graphical models overall. When we talk about search optimization algorithms, we fundamentally talk about HMM and DPCFG learning techniques, align it with genetic algorithms, or evolution of rule learning has made this process a complete different experience overall. Once this is defined, then we have an evaluation techniques and strategies which majorly work on precisions, likelihoods, cost, margins, and different other factors which needs to be worked out. So if I have to give you a holistic approach about the machine learning algorithms as compared to unsupervised, majorly regression and classification algorithms will be used. And in unsupervised, we will have cluster and dimension reduction algorithms to be applied based on the domain and values. This will create a fundamental structure and base for you to open up the tools which are needed for all of you to create and work on different algorithms on the machine learning and deep learning techniques. I'm open for questions. If there are any questions, feel free to ask. Parallelly, I'm
Yes, participants, if you have any question, please post in on chat box.
Parallelly, I'm posting my email ID. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. However, let's open this platform for questions and structures and feedbacks, if any.
Participants, if he has shared his email ID on chat box, so later on also you can ask any kind of question. Yes, sir, you can continue, I think. Yes, sir, there is a one question. How can we find which algorithm is most suitable on particular data set? It is a question by Dr. Asha S. Manik, ma'am.
Very fantastic question, Dr. Asha. So, which algorithm to use depends on what is your problem statement. It does not depend on what data set. It depends on what do you want to achieve. Why are you writing machine learning program? What are you trying to train, achieve by this? Once you define that, that will basically define that which algorithm to be used, and then particular data set will come into the picture. So it's driven from the objective for which we are planning to write machine learning. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to predict or credit risk. Now you have data of let's say Maharashtra, citizens of India. Will you be able to achieve something out of that data? Of course not. The objective is risk. So you will have to derive the data related to the finances of an individual, and then we use that as a data set, put it into some custom algorithm which we will write to classify people. So it's not dependent on the data set, but first identify the problem statement which you would want to work. For that problem statement, you have machine learning algorithms. All the algorithms which we defined, supervised, unsupervised, using classification, regression, NLP, and all that stuff, will have their own use cases where they perform the best, and that's something which you can use and achieve your results. I hope that answers your question, madam. Thank you very much for asking.
Sir, she posted one more question. Any specific benchmark on size of dataset?
No benchmark for that matter. However, 20% is considered as an ideal data set for a machine to learn. 20% of your whole data. So if your organization has 5 terabytes of data, 20% of 5 terabytes will give you maximum or most accuracy in the algorithm.
Yes, thank you, sir. I hope ma'am got her answer. If any other participant wants to ask any question, you can post on chat box. But I don't think so any question. You can continue.
Okay, just give me 5 minutes. I'll just grab a bottle of water and then we'll start with the next topic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, yes. Definitely, sir. Participant, sir is on a break of 5 minutes. Sir will be coming back, then we will go for these questions. All participants are requested to please fill at the end of the day. It's a very mandatory to fill the feedback form as well as the quiz. Yes, thank you.
लिंकच नाही भेटले आम्हाला कशाची क्विजची लिंक मी एकदम 5 दिवसाच्या देतो लगेच डायरेक्ट माझं काहीच इश्यू नाही मी ज्याच्यात आहे ना
Thank you very much for giving me this time. I'm back. Oh, I could see 2 questions.
Yes, sir.
That's good.
Yes, sir. There is 2 more questions. One question is from Mr. Amit Katan, sir. So this is regarding. Can you guide us regarding how machine learning is useful for our current agriculture system or its improvement for the same?
Yes, Mr. Amit. we are doing a lot of projects in the agriculture sector where machine learning and AI algorithms are not only used to check the fertility of the soil, but also to get the maximum yield, we also propagate the type and amount of water which should go in, at what time it should go in, what kind of
YouTube live
fertilizer
करायचं
should go in and what not to go in, to automate that complete process to get the maximum yield. We are working in this for last 4 years and we have increased 62% yield of around 200 farmers in Maharashtra.
बघितलंच नाही व्हिडिओ फक्त ते न्यूज वाचली की असा काहीतरी व्हिडिओ आहे
So that's only from the performance or production of yield. There are different segments which can be further
युट्यूबवर असणार
researched depending on the what yield is, what the fruit is, what vegetable is, and parameters around around those segments. Sorry. So this is a huge research topic which can be worked in the agricultural segment, and there is a lot of potential and people are doing research on that. Probably we are working on, and we can have a detailed discussion if needed, post sessions around it. Then I think we have one more question from Fatima and Amdad. Madam, how accuracy we
Yes,
have
sir.
to check
Yes.
according to the data set? So again, I'm not clear about what exactly you want to ask, but what I have understood is probably you want to what you want to ask. If that's what you want to ask, as I said, 20% is the ideal data set which should be used to train a model, so that that trained model is tested on remaining 80%. And based on the parameters or accuracy, based on the output, we will further define what kind of training data set we should input for our models. So there are different permutation combinations aligned with algorithms and accuracy objectives which will be defined at the training models, which needs to be created and applied depending on the project on which we are planning to apply this. I hope that answers your question, madam. If not, you can speak up, no problem.
Um, yes, sir. She acknowledged.
Thank you.
Yes. Any more question from participant side?
No problem. I think the questions will
Yes,
come
sir.
on and I'll
Yes,
answer it once again. Thank you very much, teachers, for asking questions and making this interactive. I would request you all to be vocal about anything, whether it's the most fundamental, most silliest to most advanced. Nothing. Learning is a process, and we all should interact with each other to know and explore. Great, madam. I hope I can start with the next topic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. So, next topic which we were talking I was thinking to talk about is the deep learning in across industries in 2021, or probably is the future what we are talking about. So we'll talk about different industry practices where deep learning is applied or can be applied or research is in progress. As this is a discussion oriented topic, I don't have any presentation, so let's you can we will just interact and speak about it. If you have any questions, please stop me and we will talk about it. So when we talk about deep learning or top 20, let's take top 20 applications of deep learning across industries. Is something which we are planning to talk about right now. So we know that deep learning is a subset of machine learning, which is a subset of artificial intelligence. A few years ago, we wouldn't have ever imagined deep learning applications to bring us self-driving cars or virtual assistants like Alexa, Siri, or Google Assistant,
त्याच्यात
which
जास्त
we know and we
पाहिजे
just
जल्दी घेऊन घ्यायचं.
spoke about. But today, these creations are part of our everyday life, and deep learning continues to fascinate us with each with its unendless probably endless possibilities
जॉईन करू मग आपण.
in the industry, like fraud detection, like pixel restoration,
जॉईन
like
करून
any retail segments for that matter. Let's understand these applications across industries. So when I say across industries, okay, let me note down top 20. So top 20, the top most first one is self-driving cars.
अटेंडन्स घेण्यात येत आहे.
Now think of a world with no road accidents or cases of road rage. Think of a world where every surgery is successful without causing the loss of human life because of surgical errors. Think of a world where no child is underprivileged and even those with mental or physical limitations can enjoy same quality of life as it does for rest of the humanity. Right? It's actually fascinating. Deep learning applications may seem disillusioning the normal human being, but those with privilege of knowing the machine learning world can understand the dent deep learning is making globally. And that's where the first adoption of deep learning is self-driving cars. Deep learning is the force that is bringing autonomous driving to life. A million sets of data are fed into the system to build a model, train the machines so that they can learn and then test the results of a safe environment. The classic example is Uber. Uber AI Labs at Pittsburgh is not only working on making driverless cars humdrum, but also integrating several smart features such as food delivery options with the use of driverless cars. The major concern for these car developers is handling unprecedented scenarios, and the regular cycle of testing and implementing and predicting has made this possible. That's one of the most important and classical implementation of deep learning, which is adopted across globe now. I hope you all agree with me. Second topic or feature is agriculture.
So sorry to interrupt you. There is one more question from one of the participants. That is it possible in India driverless cars to use in congested short roads?
The answer to your question is yes, it is possible. However, there are challenges around it, which will be resolved only by machine learning. The fundamental challenge, I'll tell you, it's not only size of the roads, but it is human behavior. Human behavior in the United States or UK or Middle East, where is fundamentally they follow all traffic rules, which could be a surprise for a machine in India, where even though a red light, you will see people crossing it or jumping it, which leads to accidents. So, the driverless cars in India needs to be trained in a way that they adopt and understand Indian culture of following the rules, or it has to be 100% driverless. So, on a lighter note, the answer was technically it is certainly possible. There is no harm in doing it. However, we will have to create or train the cars as per the Indian culture and economy, so that they are adapted to maybe small roads, they are adapted to people jumping the traffic, they are adapted to rains or anything for that matter. I hope that answers your question, Dr. Asha. The second industry practice. The second industry practice talks about news aggregation and fraud detection. So, Let's understand from the perspective where there is now a way to filter out all the bad and ugly news from your news feed. Extensive use of deep learning in the news aggregation is blustering efforts to customize news as per the readers. So this basically is the is the example of classification. While this may not seem to be new, but newer improvisation, newer levels of sophistication to define a reader personas are being met. The classical example which we all experience is our Gmail accounts. They have classification of mails coming from social media, mails from promotions, mail from marketing. They have classifications, right? And that's something which has been created based on the type of communication and matter which happens. And that's the second implementation or huge or largest implementation in the industry of deep learning. Third implementation in the industry is NLP, which is natural language processing. So understanding the complexities associated with the language, where it is syntax, where it is semantics, where it is nonsense, expressions, or even sarcasm, that's something which is one of the hardest tasks for humans to learn. So constant training since birth and exposure to different social settings help humans to develop appropriate responses and a personalized form of expression to every scenario. But for machines, NLP, natural language processing, through deep learning, is trying to achieve the same thing by getting trained to catch linguistic nuances and frame appropriate responses. In India, every 30 kilometers, you see change in dialect of the same language. Imagine the amount of inputs needed for organizations who are working in the local translation segments. At the same time, document summarization is widely being used and tested in the legal sphere, making paralegal obsolete. Answering questions, creating language models, classifying text, sentiment analysis at a broader level are nothing but subsets of natural language processing where deep learning is gaining momentum. And that's where logistic regression or SVM were used to build time-consuming complex models which can be applied. The fourth important concept or implementation is virtual assistants, which is most popular application of deep learning, ranging from Alexa to Siri to Google Assistant. Every interaction with these assistants provide with an opportunity to learn more about the voice and accent. And that's something which gives human assistance. Fifth important latest trend where deep learning is experienced is the entertainment industry. We talk about Vivo, Netflix, filmmaking, sports highlights, etc. All the segments. Practical implementation has started in 2016. If I have to give you an example of globally, Wimbledon 2018 used IBM Watson to analyze player emotions and expressions through hundreds of hours of footage to auto-generate highlights for telecast. This saved them a ton of efforts and cost, thanks to deep learning. The audience response and match or a player popularity to come up with the accurate model. Similarly, Netflix and Amazon are enhancing their deep learning capabilities to provide a personalized experience to its viewers. We all use these platforms, right? So if you have seen probably a couple of romantic movies in past few days, automatically you will experience that Amazon Prime or Netflix starts recommending you all the romantic movies. Or if you say horror movies, it starts recommending you all the horror movies. Or suspense, or how does that happen? That's the deep learning algorithms. which defines the personas of factoring the preferences, time of access, history, to recommend shows which are coming for a particular. That's something which is certainly important and adopted in the entertainment industry, considering the deep learning techniques.
मॅडमने जर कनेक्ट केलं तर झालं तर मी लिंक शेअर करते किंवा मॅडम शेअर करेन. तर प्लीज आजच्या दिवस थोडं कनेक्ट करा आणि थोडा एक मॅसेज ड्रॉप करशील का तुमच्या ऑफिशियल ग्रुपवर वगैरे. मी कन्फ्युजनवर तर टाकलं तसं. ओके ओके चालेल. ओके ओके थँक्यू. पोरांचा नंबर स्टोर जातो.
बंद का आपने
तुम्ही कॅमेरा बंद करू चला.
However, algorithm learn the dependencies between word to map and define the new language is an important one. This basically is performed by a stack network of LST and recurrent neural networks. 14th deep learning evolution is automatic handwriting generation, where an application of deep learning involves generation of a new set of handwritings for a given corpus of a word or a phrase. The handwriting is essentially provided as a sequence of coordinates used by a pen when the samples were created. And the relationship between the pen movement and the letters is learned and new samples are generated. Then there are implementations, or probably I would say game playing, which is automatic game playing, which also requires different algorithms, is one of the next upcoming experience, like PUBG, which is now banned in India, but similar games which have created the AI and deep learning based segments. Then we have image language translation, where based on image and the language, with the help of OCR, we convert into text and convert the languages. Then we have pixel restoration, which is also a concept of zooming into videos beyond the actual resolution and getting the insights. And this has helped the surveillance or police or legal industry to investigate with CCTV cameras and getting into the details of what could be portrayed. 18th is photo descriptions, where automatically, as I said, Facebook creates albums which are tagged, which defines or which identifies the people who are talking about deep learning techniques and defining the segments. When they are tagged spatially, so 19th deep learning technique is talking about implementation of demographic and related predictions. Like Google Street View is nothing but by sitting now in India, you can see a street in United States or in China or Japan, anywhere. And based on that, you can analyze.
वॉर्निंग यायला पाहिजे. ते म्हणतात इतके रुपये द्या, इतके रुपये द्या.
And the last but not least is
1.5 GB
dreaming.
1 point.
पहिलाच आहे का?
In 2015, Google found a method that used deep learning networks to enhance features in images on computers. Now, while this technique is used to prevent waste today, one of the deep learning applications essentially involves the concept of deep dreaming. This technique, as the name suggests, allows the computer to hallucinate on the top of existing fields, thereby generating a reassembled dream. The hallucination tends to vary depending upon the type of neural network and what it was exposed to. This deep dreaming technique has been used by a group of researchers from different universities to create hallucination machines which allows users to experience psychopathological conditions or psychoactive substances through virtual reality. This has been extremely successful experiment which opens up the possibility of deep neural network algorithms for more induced dreaming experiences.
Data attendance is important for certification.
Because it's not only virtual reality, 3D AR, VR experience, but this can treat many patients with the problems or mental problems with past or procrastination. And that's deep dreaming for you. The list of 20 deep learning techniques has been phenomenal. Now, these are the top 20 verticals or ways with which deep learning is adopted in the industry. You can think of aligning it to any industry you want. Talk about finance, you can align. So the thought process on where to use has to clear. Your problem statement should be very clear. After that, you can decide the approach and the way you will take to implement or define this particular approach, and then apply this technique in the industry. And you can further talk about having or giving research around it. Any questions, mates?
Hello, Maushi, college life, ka?
These are the top trends of deep learning. If you have any questions, please do let me know. I'm open for questions right now.
Yes, participants, if you have any question, please post on chat box.
एखादी करू ना हा म्हणून दोन आहेत इथे रिकाम्या दोन्ही घेऊन जा खाली एक राहील वर एक आणून
Yes, any question?
येऊन बसायचं पगार घ्यायचं
Dr. Amish sir, let me ask one question until other participants will post it in chat box. Nowadays, basically, we are very much worried about the healthcare habits, our diet, and we want to boost our immunity. And everybody is very much concerned about the same as compared to the past as such. And can we use this particular problem statement as an AI problem statement? What are current trends which are doing certain research in this domain, and what are possible challenges in it, where a person can track his healthcare habits according to his prakriti, what we said, and his diet as such, and accordingly, if we can give a personalized recommendation to him as per his constellation of his body, mind, and his habits along with the diet. So what are possibilities, opportunities, and what are challenges for this particular application?
So very fantastic question, Vinayak sir. So this we call it as lifestyle restoration techniques. There are many applications these days who are getting this data, but there are few who are basically recommending the changes based on the lifestyle segments. So this particular vertical has a huge potential to research and get the accuracy. For now, there are already applications and it is certainly possible. However, the accuracy is aligned to one segment. When I say one segment, probably it will only talk about weight loss, or it will only talk about probably growing your hair or something of that sort. But a holistic 360-degree approach of lifestyle restoration is not yet considered by any business for that matter, and that can considered as a problem statement on which we can work with ML and AI and deep learning techniques. However, we will have to gather a lot of data, which will help us to define and test correct models around it.
Yes, sir. Any other questions? If participants, if you have any questions, then please write it in chat box.
Participants, if you have any question, you can post on chat box.
Dr. Amit sir, you have explained about. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Dr. Amit sir, you
Yes,
have
sir.
explained about the various applications domains ranging from agriculture to healthcare. Particularly, again, let us talk about the pandemic situation where teachers are also facing a lot many challenges to teach the students. Do you find any interesting and innovative approaches or research which are going on around the world where it is facilitating the teachers to assess their students learning pattern and to make it more interactive as such? The challenges such as it is very difficult to
तुमची
track whether the
अटेंडन्स डाउनलोड
students
करतात
are
नाही का
really
मोबाईलवर?
understanding the lessons or not, whether they are actually genuinely doing the assignments or not. Having an interaction with them in a virtual fashion is a little bit difficult. So do you find any AI based interesting research which are going on in current trends where that you want to share with all of us?
Can you repeat your question, please, once again? Sorry, Vinayak sir.
Yes, sir. So I was asking, ki, like in current pandemic situation, the teachers are facing several problems to interact with the students or to assess the students' learning pattern. So, do you find any interesting research around AI which is helping teaching learning process on a greater extent?
Yeah, so for that, Vinayak sir, that's a domain on which we basically work. So we have created an AI infused social learning platform, uh, which captures the way student
अटेंडन्स
and
किती
teacher
घेणार आता?
interacts and behave on all the
आणि
tasks which
मोबाईलवर
are
जॉईन केला
allocated to them.
डाउनलोड नाही होत आपल्याला फॉर्म शेअर करा म्हणून
Okay.
So there are various techniques around it
फॉर्म क्रिएट करून
on that particular platform, which basically can be explored further with all the day-to-day activities which can be defined and created.
Yes, sir. And on behalf of participants, one more question I want to ask, even that we can share with other participants in a different way as well. That can you provide certain learning resources for the teachers and students to start learning AI and data
मोबाईलवर
science? So,
बनवता येईल का
any
फॉर्म?
beginning point, any triggering point from where
फॉर्म
they
बनवता येतं ना
basically
लॉग इन
should
करून
start their journey in the learning of AI and data science?
तुम्ही बनवून लिंक पाठवून द्या
Maybe
मला
teachers will
त्यांना.
find it useful to share it with their students as well.
So fundamentally, what I would recommend is we should work on having the business cases and then aligning it with the technologies or tools which we are planning to learn. So what I have seen, I might be wrong. Please correct me if I am wrong. What I have seen in certain cultures, what I have observed by interacting is, say when somebody decides to learn data science, okay, they
त्याच्यासाठी काय
go
माहिती
and
आहे का?
learn
इथं मोबाईलवर
Python or
काम करते.
TensorFlow or
फॉर्म्स
any other techniques
तेच
which
नाही.
are there.
froms.office.com
These tools are
त्याच्यावर
certainly
काम इथं
required.
गुगलवर
There is
करतात.
no doubt
गुगलवर
about
नाही
it.
त्याच्यावर
But the most
गुगल काय
important
करायचं
part, which everybody should start thinking and evaluating while probably you're creating a project or creating an assignment is what problem, what is the business problem which we are planning to solve with these tools? Because with the help of Python or TensorFlow, we can work in for the finance industry also, for the retail industry also, for the entertainment industry also. However, that has to be predefined so that thought process of implementation is clear. Only learning the concepts or how to use tools or what are the features of tools might not help you to apply that to a relevant case study, relevant example. So, while learning any of these topics, it is always recommended to have a focused approach towards the business problems or case studies.
Yes, yes.
खरंच टॅग संपला काय माहिती
Great, thank you very much. Feel free, I will post my email ID link again. Feel free to get connected if you have any questions and doubts. Thank you very much.
त्याच्यात ते पण असतं ना काहीतरी ऑप्शन की
Thank you, sir, for sharing such a wonderful information with all of us. It was very interactive and informative session, and we are looking forward for such amazing collaboration with you, sir, in future. Thank you very much for the valuable insights of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Now I request Dr. Vinay Kotavar, sir, HOD Computer Engineering Department, to conclude the session.
Thank you, Aditi madam. First of all, let me thanks to Dr. Amit Andre sir for sparing his valuable time for guiding and enlightening this particular workshop. Irrespective of his health issues, his very hectic schedule, and his frequent traveling from one place to other, he still agreed to come on this particular platform to share his valuable information. It is always a very wonderful session with Dr. Amit sir because he's having an insight of we can say the business view of the problem statements, and we always feel that his motivation, his encouragement for the students and teachers always play a very important role for DYPCOE family as well. Students always get encouraged by his talks, by his interaction with the students, where his insight about looking at certain problems and modeling it for certain business cases, that definitely helped students and teachers to get something different insight about the AI and data science technologies. So it was a very wonderful session, sir. You enlightened and you focused on several interesting applications which are currently trending in the market, and where research is basically research is required, and where the focus of researchers are really required for the purpose. Initially, you talked about the fundamentals of machine learning, then the difference between the conventional programming paradigm and the machine learning paradigm that you explored in a very interesting way. You talked about the supervised and unsupervised learning and the different application domains or the problem statements where these types are more suitable and more appropriate. That also you talked about. While answering the question, you gave a very interesting information about the agricultural applications where AI is playing a very important role. You also shared certain results that you got from your projects, whether you have improved the yield of agricultural production, and that was really an interesting and important thing to understand for all of us. You talked about the challenges which are there for AI-based application, particularly when we are focusing on Indian context. So you gave different examples of different applications where you focused on how these technologies are useful, but how these are challenging in context of Indian psychology, Indian economic system, and Indian social system as such. The one important application that you mentioned in your session was related to developmental disorder of children's, and I think that is a really essential issue to give focus of researchers, because nowadays we can see, because of lifestyle issues, we could see a rapid increase in the developmental disorders in kids, and it is very difficult to understand in such a small age, and that may lead to certain sufferings for the parents as well. And that is one of the important area where healthcare, attention is required, and where AI can play a very important role. You rightly said about the same. While answering several questions from different participants, you also explored about the different applications domain, where AI can play a very wonderful role, very interesting role. So that was overall a very informative and very knowledgeable session to all of us. And it is always a feeling of proud that we are inviting our own alumni as a resource person to enlighten us. And we know that you have done a wonderful in your domain. You are training and you are giving solutions to the hundreds and thousands of people around the world, around the globe. So along with the academic experience, you have a vast experience of solving real life problems, and that definitely helped all the students and teachers in the past. Currently we are also experiencing, and we are expecting the similar collaboration with you in the future, sir. So thank you so much for joining, and it was a really wonderful session, sir. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you very much, Vinayak sir. In fact, I was thinking that we should discuss of setting up a incubation research center on AI in our college.
So that is wonderful, sir. In fact, I think
If you and principal sir allow us, we can have this thought and we can have an incubated research center in our college to address multiple problems using AI, ML, and deep learning,
yes,
involving
exactly.
our
I think
students.
yes, Vadai sir is also, I think, joined for the session, and he might be busy, but he must be very much interested, and he must be very much happy to hear this proposal, and we'll definitely work together for the same, sir. We have all the infrastructure, we have all the capacity, and the first and foremost important thing is we have all the willingness to do the same. So definitely we'll work on the same, sir. Thank you so
Sure.
much. Yes, over to Aditi, madam.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Aditi, madam,
I'm
you can
Mrs.
continue.
Aditi Kalia.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you so much, Kotavar sir and Dr. Amit Andre sir, for such a wonderful information, which will definitely help everyone to enhance their knowledge. Now, I'm here to propose a vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to thank our Honorable Chairman Satish D. Patil sir for supporting us to conduct such events. I would like to thank our Honorable Director, Colonel S.K. Joshi sir, for motivating and guiding us to organize such events. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Amit Andre sir for gracing this occasion with his presence and for sharing your knowledge with us, which will definitely help us to enhance our skills. A big thanks to our beloved principal sir, Dr. Vijay Ambadai sir, for the words of encouragement. Sir, we are honored to have you with us always. My heartfelt thanks to respected Vice Principal, Ma'am, Dr. P. Malti Madam, for your guidance and supporting all our efforts. I would like to thank our HOD Dr. Vinayak Kotavar sir for his support and guidance he has extended to all of us. I would like to thank Mrs. Shanti Guru Madam and Mrs. Neelam Patil Madam, Chief Coordinators of the program, for their guidance and support. I extend my heartfelt thanks to organizing team members for their efforts to make this event successful. A big thanks to all their participants for active participation and being with us. Thank you all. So as we come to the closure of day 2 morning session, I request all the participants to join post-lunch session, hands-on session. It will start sharp at 2:15 p.m. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
त्यालाच अपलोड करायचं युट्यूबवर. आली अटेंडन्स ऑटोमॅटिक अटेंडन्स
सेव्ह करून टाकायचं.
ऑटोमॅटिक येते.
सेव्ह केलं का?
सेव्ह होती ते डायरेक्ट आहे का सेव्ह झाली.